Hey, how y'all doing out there in internet's land? Right here we've got the Generations Drift. Generations Drift. You gotta excuse me, it's a new line. It still doesn't roll off the tongue very well yet. But anyway, let's zoom in. I wish I had my remote here. This right here is Drift. He is getting a repaint into blue, and they're going to call him Blur. But I think I'm going to be satisfied with just this one, just the one. I may end up getting Blur, but really I think I'm going to stick with just this one guy in my further quest of streamlining my collection. I'm going to try and just start getting one version of each mold. Just right off the bat, pretty good looking thing. I don't like this right here, the way this is set up. It's got like a hood scoop coming up. And that'd be alright if it was just right here over the fenders, but it stays through the whole thing, all the way down through the bumper where it's raised from the extra surface. No idea what this says right here on the side. On the back you've got two molded in exhaust pipes that are not painted, and just pretty normal looking tires. From the underneath of it you can see the sword storage and the back of the head if you look around the sword. But overall it's a nice little figure, a nice little car. Every time I look at it, it makes me think of a Supra, but really there's not that much Supra in it. There's also the way that this right here is so much narrower than the body. It makes me think of, I think it's a McLaren that looks like that, where the passenger compartment is a lot narrower and then the body looks huge in comparison. But overall, like I said, I really like this car. Could have done with these little windows right here are not painted, but I can live with that. To transform it, first thing you're going to do is go ahead and pull the sword out. Then you're going to take and pull out the doors on the side. Just kind of get them open. And even though they're hinged, they don't really, there's no way to really pose them like the doors would be open right there. Because to open them that far, you've also got to take and twist them down. And also you can't really get them like the Lamborghini doors too well either, because they don't come out far enough. Anyway, proceeding on. Next thing you're going to do is going to roll the back portion out and form the legs right there. Now I really like the feet on this guy. Let me separate the legs. But the way the feet do is you've got to take and roll them forward like this. Once you get them to right there, then you can roll them down, and that is the foot right there. It kind of wedges in place. There's nothing to hold. It doesn't peg in place, but just the weight of the figure will keep it there very nicely. So like I said, just roll it up and flip it down, and the legs are done. Just going to kind of take the doors, put them down out the way, kind of like that. Well, let me show you this before I get too far out. Right here, he has two short swords that store the door. Just take and flip the handles out, then fold the glass in. And now, you can go ahead and stow the doors down like I told you earlier. The Blur is going to come with two pistols instead of the two swords. Next thing you do is going to be to separate this panel up here. This half of the hood is going to come over this fender. Guess what? This other one does the exact same thing. Now you can see his face. Rotate this back, and the arms just take and fold out just like that. Whenever you fold the arms down, you've got, let me see here, some real nice detail in the shoulder right there. Got the Autobot logo, which on Blur, the Autobot logo is going to be right there. The last thing you got to do is just take the roof section right here and flip it up and peg it into his chest, and that is him. The door panels hanging off of his waist kind of get in the way. The very large shoulders from the fronts of the fenders, they kind of get in the way. But really, this is still a very posable figure. The only thing really lacking on the guy is that because of the way that the ankles are assembled, there's no way to get any kind of ankle posability out of him, but he is stable nonetheless. Let's see, what do I do with this sword? Oh, it's on the ground. It must have been on my lap. So, you give him the one sword in his hand, and he is posable enough that you can get him holding the sword with both hands. It is kind of messed up because he ends up doing strange things with his elbows. Not his elbows, his wrists. But you can't have him two-handing the sword. Only straight up though. I haven't been able to get him in any kind of good positions with it like held out to the side or anything. Take either one of the swords out of the doors and you can give him that in his offhand. If I did get the Blur, I think I'd give Blur one of the swords and trade him the pistol, just so that he'd have one ranged weapon. But all in all, like I said, very nice figure. As something rare, it even almost looks pretty decent from the back. There's no big gaping holes or anything. The only thing that makes it look not that clean are the screw holes. But you can still take and store the sword on his back. It does hit the back of his head a little bit though, so it's one of those super duper gummy swords, so you want to be very careful not to let it rest its weight on it. You can even take and have him posed about to draw his sword if you so desired. It kind of an awkward pose, but I imagine if I spend a little bit of time on it, I could clean it up some. See, like that right there is a little bit better. But very good figure. Out of the Generations figures I have so far, this is most definitely my favorite. Bear in mind, all I've got is Thrust, this guy, and the Prime from War for Cybertron. Let's see here. That's about all I've really got to say about this guy. Good, solid figure. Nice to get away from the movie line for a while. So, if you liked Universe and Classics, definitely a safe buy. Y'all have a good day.